So okay, I'm just trying to a few things before starting this live event officially. Running thing, at least what I can see. And I'm really just making sure that people at home is getting everything just fine. This is why I asked them. Okay. So here we are, and I'm very happy at this live. Good evening. Gianluca Masi speaking from Virtual Telescope Project, and here we are. We would like to track another asteroid just going to closely brush our planet. This small rock, 2000 HD1, is really a prey. This is a truly safe close encounter. We did know since we discovered this nice asteroid and understood it was going to come very close to us, we were sure it was a very safe close encounter. Live, this event is broadcast. I want to acknowledge also Site Technica for featuring this event for this group and I also want to people at the university as Bob King, a good friend, featuring this event, as well as malikaspace.com for this event as well. So we are really ready to looking at this object, and this one is a very small asteroid actually, but it is coming very close to us. In distance from it touched tomorrow in Alpha Day by now, and just an idea, the asteroid will reach a minimum distance from us of only 75,000 kilometers. Only from an astronomical point is a small distance, but this is just a very safe experience, so really not risk. But I know that you want to see the asteroid through our web. So here we are. So going to open to share this with you right now. Just want to make sure that you will receive audio as well while okay. And this is the control panel of the telescope. You can very easily see we are already on the asteroid. The telescope is in the right place to make sure in the Crown constellation, Corvus. It is not so famous constellation, you see. It is a bit southern than the Maiden, the huge beast. Not only, of course, you will not see it by naked. It is incredibly fainter than the faintest star you can see by a very dark place. You will not, but even you will need at least a 7 more or less 16 inches telescope to spot it visually. So really, if you wanted to look it with your own very eyes, this is not the right aspect. This is small. It has a diameter about 15 meters. It is our best estimate, of course, and as I said, it is very faint. But the virtual with its very powerful system is just it right away. Well, to make what is the asteroid here, keep in mind that this asteroid is pretty fast across the sky, but our very advanced angular speed of the asteroid, so during the imaging, leaving trails on the background, and this is, let me say, a very nice setup. It is not easy, especially when you have a very fast object like this one, that it is not easy, I said, just to track so beautifully, so perfectly such a very hard target. Well, the telescope, in order to capture and share with you through the web such a beautiful sight, is just capturing light for 60 seconds. I mean, the detector sensitive to the light is exposed to the light coming from the asteroid for 60 seconds, recording the signal coming from the asteroid. And after 60 seconds, the collected signal is actually transferred after digitization to our computer, and the image is shown here. Image. And as you can see, on the upper left there is a green running bar that is a sort of countdown saying that a few seconds are left before a given exposure is ended. It starts from 60 seconds, as I said, and I asked it to take a series of images, namely, as you can see, 100, and now we are going to see the 8th image of the full series. And image after image, you will see that the asteroid is moving. You will see this basically looking at the stars, because the stars images are sliding while the asteroid is apparently in the same place, simply because, I want to underline this once again, that the telescope is actually tracking it. In a normal observing situation, the telescope will track the stars and the asteroid will leave a trail. Maybe we will try to see this later. This asteroid has been discovered a few days ago by people working out Mount Lemmon survey in Arizona, United States, where a very efficient survey hunting for near-Earth asteroids is working a lot there, as a few more surveys all around the planet. And this one was observed for the first time on April 18, and yesterday it was officially announced by the Minor Planet Center when it received its very official provisional designation, that is 2015 HD1, and we are just enjoying it live thanks to the virtual telescope. We are very proud and happy that every time something thrilling like this is approaching us, we can share it live with you thanks to our amazing technology. I'm very happy that you are here now looking at this live. Let me say, all this is happening live. As I said, this object will reach a minimum distance from the Earth in a few hours by now. It is just still approaching, and right now the distance is about 450,000 kilometers, a bit more than the lunar distance, and it will be much closer in the next few hours. To say, if I have some updated details, because as this one was just discovered, if someone will observe it and will provide new data to the astronomical community, namely the Minor Planet Center or the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, they will likely update the orbit details. But as I said, the minimum distance from our planet will be touched tomorrow, 21 of April, at 8:16 Universal Time, basically in more or less, let me say, 11 hours from now. But we are observing it now for a couple of reasons. First of all, at the time of the minimum distance, in Italy, it will be full day, so it will be not possible for us to spy it. But even if the minimum distance, if at the time it was going to be dark here, the object was so south that it was impossible for us to spy it from the northern hemisphere. In a nutshell, this is the only chance we have to observe it from the northern hemisphere just before the minimum distance, the nominal flyby. And I'm impressed to see how image after image the asteroid is there, and I hope that you are truly having fun. And you are very welcome to capture, share, and on your social media these images. And the asteroid, as I say, 2015 HD1 is the sharp dot of light you see in the very center of here. And I hope that you are having fun as well. We know a lot of asteroids, actually several thousands of asteroids approaching our planet that we call near-Earth asteroids. But saying that an asteroid is approaching us, it does not mean it's going to hit, because saying that it is coming close, it is not enough. And this is a very bright proof of what I'm saying. This one is coming pretty close, as I said, 0.2 lunar distances, so 1/5 of the mean lunar distance. But while this is close, this is likely for us not too close to pose a threat of collision risk to our planet. Over the last few years, we saw more often than in the past this kind of news announcing approaching us, and at least this is what I understood from messages, emails we receive to the virtual telescope. I said that this could mean that more asteroids are coming now closer to us than a few years ago. This is not true at all, of course. What changed is our capability to actually observe, discover these very difficult objects. They are moving fast, they are small, so they are faint, so you really need enough the right technology to spy, to capture them. And a few years ago our technology was not enough for this. Those asteroids are, on average, all the same all around us, and if you read more often about them over, it just means that we are now much better able to observe, discover them while they are close. So while this object is not posing a threat to us, it is actually something very precious, because it makes possible all of us to see a small asteroid easily, because as you can easily understand, when an object is small like this one, of course it is not obvious at all that you can see it. The smaller the asteroid, of course, the fainter its image. If it is small and it is far, it is hard to see because it is very faint. So a small asteroid is easy to see only when it is close, and this is the case. This object is just shining at magnitude 16, and these scale magnitudes just makes sense to astronomers. It's just an idea of brightness. As I said, this is incredibly fainter than the faintest star you can see by naked eye under a very, very dark sky. And in principle, a telescope with enough powerful light gathering capability can spot this. But it is fast, it is moving pretty soon from northern hemisphere. As I said, the minimum distance will be touched in a bit less than 11 hours by now, and this is the only chance we had to spy it while distance from the northern hemisphere. This is as I said, a 15 meters large asteroid. This is a bus-sized asteroid, an house size, just to give you an idea. It is not different in size from the object you know as the Chelyabinsk asteroid, the one which exploded over the Chelyabinsk city in Russia in 2013, February 2013. It was basically of the same. This time we were much more lucky, and the asteroid is just 6 kilometers per second. I want to thank a few friends Panama, Stephanie, Matteo, and on the chat. and Adrian as well. I'm very happy that you are just having fun with this, and the time that an asteroid is that the virtual telescope is able to share this. I see several people worried, but as I said, you really don't have to be worried, because there are no risks at all from disaster just coming. This is spectacular but absolutely safe. Also, if you are really willing, if you are really wishing to see it with your very own binocular or by naked eye, please trust me, this is not faint enough for this. It is incredibly fainter if you think of it compared to the stars you see by naked eye. So don't worry where to look for seeing it by naked eye, because simply not visible by naked eye. Even through a telescope, if you want to spy, to capture it visually, that is just putting your eye to the eyepiece of the telescope, you will need at least a inches large telescope. That is a telescope pretty large, pretty powerful, I mean. We are still beautifully tracking it. Let me see if I can just contrast and so on in the image, just to see if I can give you a bit more natural view. I like the one we see now, but just let me see if I can do something to make everything more pleasant. Lucky also because the weather was not the best I could hope for the evening. Just 30 minutes before starting the live coverage, I mean, the weather was completely cloudy. I've been discussing this with my friend Pierluigi, and we were worried about our possibilities to share this live, but as far as I can see now, we are really having fun. I'm just trying to enlarge the image a bit. The asteroid is the very perfect point of light in the center. The telescope is beautifully tracking it at its very personal speed rate, angular motion, apparent angular motion, are leaving trails on the background. It is like when you are trying to take a picture of a F1 car, for example, you just will track with your hands, keeping the camera the motion of the car, just to give you a better vision. No? This is what we are seeing with the telescope. And the car here, the F1 car, is the asteroid with a speed, a relative speed versus the Earth of 16 kilometers per second. And the background are the stars that are looking as a trails of light. This is just great. So happy that we are enjoying this vision here. Now you see that the asteroid is very close to a star trail, and in 20 seconds or so, the new image will show you a completely different situation. From time to time I also have to check the weather. You can see here, for example, there are some clouds you see on the left, on the north, and some clouds are moving around, but I really hope that they will not be reason of concern for us. So for now we are winning after all, and this is great. Here it is, the new image, as you can see. As I said, now there is a completely different vision here, friends. I'm so happy that running so nicely. The magnitude here is 16. It is getting brighter and brighter, but as I said, the best will be in a bit less than 11 hours by now, and by that time, at the minimum distance, the object will be visible only from the southern hemisphere, not from the northern latitudes like Italy, for example. I see also Susie and Catherine here. Welcome aboard. Just sending my greetings to the chat. And this is truly a very nice experience. We are collecting a number of images, and we hope to have enough images later just to make. I would like to do something different now. Let me see if I can just show you how, if I ask the telescope to do the normal job that is tracking the stars, you will see a small trail that is the asteroid. Let me do this, let me ask the telescope doing so. Soon after, this new image will be properly downloaded here. I see some clouds around. When you see the background a bit brighter, it just means that you have some clouds entering the field of view of the telescope. And we saw that there were some clouds around, so this is why you see a bit brighter image. This being the case, I prefer just to stay this way without stopping the sequence, because I don't want to lose images, precious ones right now. I see a lot of people is at this very moment connected with our live streaming. Recently, the virtual telescope improved a lot the performances of its web server to make more people happy, but this is quite expensive right now. We have 20 times more expensive website than in the past, and this is why if you want to help by donating something to the virtual telescope, you are very welcome and to do this, and we appreciate a lot your kindness. So this is for me a very nice experience. I hope that you are having fun as well. And image after image, you see the asteroid there in the center, but it is moving, as you can easily infer from the star trails on the background. The telescope is tracking the very personal angular motion of this fast moving object. In about 40 minutes, this asteroid is moving in the sky of an angle similar to the lunar disk, the full moon lunar disk, just to give you an idea about its fast angular speed. We are proud to share this with you live. We are making what we to keep your interest in astronomy alive thanks to our technology. I wish to thank Joachim Fabrica Polleri for sharing images on his social media, and all the friends doing this, because this way you can make more people happy seeing what is happening there. And this is great. Thank you. This very, very small object is giving us a lot of idea of fast moving objects around the Earth. This is a very advanced telescope. I see that a few people are asking about the hardware we are using. We are using, professional stuff here just to provide these amazing performances. Again, an idea where the asteroid is. I'm going to show you the star map. Here it is where the asteroid is. That is in Crow Corvus in Latin, quite neglected constellation, southern than Virgo, and right now the object is reaching the maximum altitude for tonight from our location in central Italy, where the virtual telescope is installed. and of course this one is just 13 degrees right now. Once again, let me show the object to you. Still comfortably sitting in the very center of the image here. Hope that you are having fun with us. Thanks to the virtual telescope. Very, very beautiful sight here. Just amazing. At least I hope you are enjoying all this, friends. And image after image, virtual telescope is beautifully tracking it. If you don't mind, I would like to find a picture here showing also the telescope we are using for this. Just please give me a couple of 1 minute. At least I would like, if I can find such an image, friends. I'm not sure, but because we have so many images there that sometimes it is not obvious for us to find right away something we had not prepared. But here it is, a telescope, by the way. So I'm going to share with you what the telescopes we have available at Virtual Telescope, 2 fully robotic telescopes, and now I also want to show you in better detail the telescope we are using for this live coverage. This is the telescope we are using right now. As you can see, it is a truly impressive system with a lot of very advanced capabilities, making the virtual telescope one of the most advanced facilities of its class available on this planet. But now I want to go back to the live coverage, and here it is again, the Asteroid, friends. Both the telescopes are fully operational, of course. They do different things because, of course, one telescope is more skilled. At least this is something I took care to fine-tuning on photometry, a very high precision photometry. And the other telescope, the one we are using now, is mainly used for imaging, scientific imaging, and also for taking beautiful images of the deep sky gems out there. Very nice experience. The system is some very, very beautiful sights. I must say that really a lot of people, here it is clear evidence that we are having clouds. Let me check what is happening. Well, there is still room for maybe some images. So for now, I will leave the telescope going. But let's see what will happen from the next image. After all, so far we had a lot of fun. As I said, the asteroid right now is a bit more than 400,000 kilometers, a bit more than the lunar distance, but this is already truly a very short distance, but safe. This asteroid, I will repeat once again, is really not going to hit our planet. no matter what you have read from some strange websites, every time saying that an asteroid is coming to kill us, I don't know what is fun in this. I like living. And okay, more clouds here. Let me see if adjusting a bit the contrast I can just recover. Maybe yes. Okay, here we are, friends. By adjusting brightness, contrast in real time, I can just extract the asteroid again. From time to time you see around more white dots. They are just thermal effects on the CCD detector. Okay, I had now to point again the telescope because I see that we crossed the meridian, and I will ask the telescope now, so that you can see even this live, to go and change its position. Let me ask the telescope to point this one once again. Okay, my friend asteroid, where you are, here it is. And we are just approaching the meridian. Let me ask the telescope to go on the west, and then we will spot it once again. So the telescope right now is just crossing that purple vertical line you see from south to zenith to north, that is called meridian. It is a very critical, important region in the sky. All the objects east of the meridian are rising. All the objects west, after touching the maximum high altitude above the horizon, are going to set. And the asteroid is now just south, and it is going to go to set in a few hours. I mean, it reached the maximum altitude for our observing site, and now slowly it will set. And we had to use the telescope to go and see, wait it from the other side of the meridian. We are there, and let me ask the telescope to go to hit once again. So here we are, and just to make clear that this is the west portion of our survey, I want to just to make sure that we are there. Okay, oh well, I just want to do another thing, sorry, something I promised. Let me see if I can ask actually the system. Okay, just okay, let me point here to try something I promised to you earlier, that is leaving the asteroid moving, tracking the stars with the telescope. Let me see if I can make this for you. It depends on from the clouds, of course, but let's try. You see that the object is just south from the virtual telescope observing site in central Italy. So let's see what will happen. I believe that we are really having a unique experience, and I see clouds around. On the south, it is the right side of this image. Clouds are on the north, heavy clouds, but some of them are even on the right side, that is south. But anyway, let's see this personally. The telescope is now tracking the stars, no longer the asteroid. In principle, we have nothing here because there are clouds, friends. As you can easily see, we have just clouds. Let's wait. You see a very few stars because clouds are there, making it impossible for us to see any other thing here. I hope that the next image will be better. I see that it is a not very good situation. South is the right side of the image, okay? And you see that on the north, on the left side, you have a lot of clouds, but on the right, they are moving slowly away. So let's wait and let's hope the situation will be better soon for us. A lot of people connected. Happy that people wanted to be with us. Still clouds, but a little more stars, suggesting a little better situation. This cloud is slowly moving south, as you can see here. Let's see what will happen in the next 30 seconds. What a beautiful experience here. I hope that the weather will open, the clouds will open for us right now. Let's hope this. We just want to see the asteroid again. Still cloudy. You see more stars, but by experience I can say this is much less than the should show under clear conditions. But I the next image will be better. You see stars are now dots of light as the asteroid earlier, you know, because now the telescope is tracking stars. I mean, it is just tracking at the apparent speed, the angular speed of the Earth. This is why the stars are moving, apparently moving, because the Earth is rotating in one day, you know, and the asteroid is a very personal speed along its orbit, especially now that it is close to us. Its personal apparent motion is much more evident, you know. So it is tracking the stars, and the asteroid should appear as a trail there. Let's see if this will be the case or not. I wish to also welcome my very good friend Gary Barney from Florida. This is truly nice international experience. And unfortunately I still don't see the object. Let me see if I can ask the telescope to slew again to it, because meanwhile it is moving, of course. Let's ask the telescope to go there again. And then let's start again. Images. Let me take 30 seconds, maybe a bit better. Who knows? Let's hope. Well, the situation south should be a bit better for a few minutes, but other clouds are coming quite quickly, so I feel this is going to end soon. But we had a lot of fun with the asteroid so far. We saw it perfectly. I just wanted to make sure that we also had the trail of the object. And we had it, actually, because if you look carefully here, in the center, you see a very faint trail, and this is the asteroid. And if I am right, okay, the next image in a few seconds will show a trail which is a bit up or down depending on the direction of motion, while the stars will be the same. This is the truth. The moment we will check this hypothesis, if the clouds will not give trouble, here it is. We saw also, as I said, the trail, but before the clouds just give us too much troubles, I would like once again to take a tracked image, making the ideal hand of this show. The trail is visible pretty well. Just to make sure you know what I'm saying, the very faint trail you see on the center was the asteroid in 30 seconds while the telescope was tracking the stars. Now we are doing once again what we did for most of the time, that is ask the telescope to track at the asteroid apparent motion, speed, apparent rate, and now the stars should be back as trails. So friends, we are quickly approaching the end here. I hope that the last 120 second exposure will be a good one. I already prepared for even a 3-minute exposure because I would like to have showing even better the asteroid motion. That is longest star trails. I don't know what will happen because clouds are around, as you can see. We had a few thousands people joining this live coverage, I see. Giving just a very quick estimate, looking at the web server, we have 5,000 friends joining this live coverage, and I see the web server has been able to host huge traffic. And now the 2 minutes exposure. Wow, look there. Let me start the 3-minute one. And here it is, friends. This is a very spectacular image. Likely this one is just making justice here. This is just perfect. Just perfect, friends. I want to show this full screen because it deserves such an honor. Let me adjust the position so that the asteroid will be in the very center. Okay. Truly amazing, I believe, here. And this is nice. The asteroid is in the very center. And in a couple of minutes we should have an even longer exposure with longer star trails, if of course the clouds are with us. Maybe we will have enough chances. Let's hope, friends. You never know. You have to wait with clouds. You have just to wait and see what will happen. If they help it or not. This 15 meters asteroid is right now about 400,000 kilometers from us, a bit more than the lunar distance, but is getting closer and closer, and tomorrow, in about a bit more than 10 hours by now, it will touch a minimum distance of about 0.2 times 1/5 of the mean lunar distance, and that is something about 70,000 kilometers. This is really small. While very close, this asteroid is not a risk at all for us. No matter what you have read around, if a given website told something different from that is this asteroid was going to eat us, don't trust, don't look, don't visit that website anymore. It just means they are just saying lies and stupid things, silly things. This asteroid, since the discovery was clear, was going to make a spectacular but completely safe approach flyby with us. Let me see if the other image is coming. How many seconds? 20 seconds. Let's hope that no clouds cross the field of view during these minutes. In that case, we will have, I hope, a beautiful image. Very nice. I think that we have something nice here to share, but please, before looking at this, let me ask the telescope to start another sequence. Very useful if we will want to take a movie later. Okay. And now let me open again the image full screen, and let me enlarge the image to put the object, the asteroid, at its better vision. Here it is, friends. Star trails so long, perfectly tracked, amazingly well tracked by our Paramount MA robotic mount, and the stars are just moving all around. Here it is. Trust me when I say that this perfection in tracking these different asteroids is something you see on a handful of telescopes worldwide. And the virtual telescope is a leading facility doing this. Hope you are enjoying it. This is a very quick exposure, just 30 seconds, and you can see that the length of the trails is scaled accordingly. Half a minute is just 1/6 of 3 minutes, okay? And the length of the trail is 1/6 of the one we saw earlier. But at this point, we are just approaching also the end of this live coverage. So I really hope that you had fun. I hope that once again the virtual telescope made the difference for you, made it possible for you to see something that you were going to miss otherwise without the virtual telescope live and free, I must say, coverage. This is a truly advanced project, making possible to people to enjoy these really superb cosmic events at no cost for you, but of course something free. If something is free, it does not mean that it has no cost. And as I said, we improved for you a lot the performances of the web server hosting our services, and the cost increased 20 times than the original cost. And in order to cover this, your support, your donations are truly welcome. If you trust the virtual telescope project, you will want to consider donating something to make possible for us to go ahead and show more and more in the future, as we have been doing since 2006. After 8 years of trusted job, trusted work, with a reputation spanning worldwide, we are here happy to say that we will honor your trust, your support. Well, friends, I think that I can go to close this after about 1 hour of coverage. We have the superb experience here with this asteroid, and I hope that you will subscribe to our newsletter to be notified when something special will pop in the sky, and we will be ready to show it live in real time once again to you. This is very easy through our website. You can even join our groups on Facebook, and that way you will be always up to date with news and events coming through the Virtual Telescope Web TV. That's all, friends. Once again, I want to thank our technological partners, Unitron Italia Instruments, Software Bisque, Bader Planetarium, Santa Barbara Instruments Group, and Planeweb Instruments. And I also want to remind you that this event was shared with ANSA Scienza e Tecnica, the most important press agency in Italy, the scientific team working also a lot on astronomy and having with us a very nice and important cooperation. That's all, friends. I hope you had fun. I hope that 2015 HD1 was enough for you to justify your time spent here on this live site, this live session online, and I hope you will like to be with us. The next one will be in a couple of days. By the way, it will be a very special experience. It will last the full night and we will explore more than 100 deep sky objects, galaxies, nebulae, star cluster and more, the whole Messier catalog. This is something you will not want to miss, and to learn more you can just visit www.telescope.eu website. It will be next Wednesday, and of course you can join it for free. A full night surfing the deep space. What else? So come and you will be happy with us. Once again, I hope you had fun, wish you all the best, and keep looking at the stars, and take care of yourself. Goodbye, friends. See you under the stars, somewhere in space. Goodbye.